Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live. It's episode number 171, the World Scout Jamboree and Walmart Parking Lots on the Air 2019, recorded live on Thursday, June 27th, 2019. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by Bill Stearns, NE4RD, Mike Crownover, AD5A, and Jim Wilson, K5ND, and we will take your calls live in a few minutes. Last week here on the show, Bart Yankee, W9JJ, and Paul Bork, N1SFE, were here to talk about Field Day and take your questions. If you missed the show, you can listen anytime. Just go over to hamtalklive.com or your favorite podcast app or YouTube, or you can catch the rebroadcast on WTWW 5085 AM Saturday evenings, at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So get your questions ready to go. If you're listening to us live on Thursday night, you can give us a call after the interview, and that telephone number to call is 812-650-9556. Again, the phone number. Have this ready to go when we get to the part where we invite you to call in. 812-650-9556. You can also tweet us. In fact, one person has already. It's at Ham Talk Live on Twitter, and we'll be checking that throughout the night. So send in your question if you have one now. If you have one in a little bit, give us a call, and I'll be back with Bill, Mike, and Jim right after this word from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live.
Hey, honey, have you seen the PL259s anywhere?
No, I haven't. Come on, kids. Let's go. There's just one place to go for all of your connector needs.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics. A giant warehouse of connectors and adapters for every occasion. Thousands to choose from in every shape, size, and color. And they have antennas, soldering supplies, cables, meters, and more. Where do you go if you want to buy a connector at a fraction of retail cost?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics. And this weekend only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale. Buy 9 solder-type PL259s, get the 10th one for just $1 penny. They make great Christmas presents. And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a PL259?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Hi, I'm Scott Cole, KB9AMM, president of Tower Electronics. I like the company so much that I bought it.
Tower Electronics, coming to a Hamfest near you, or online at pl-259.com. And we're in the yellow pages under Amateur Radio Connectors.
My, wherever did you get that lovely PL259?
Tower Electronics, pl-259.com, or call 920-435-2973.
Do we sell PL259 connectors?
If a man says something in the woods and there are no women there, is he still wrong? You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp.
Thanks to Tower Electronics for bringing the show to you tonight. You can see Scott and Jill at a Hamfest near you. They'll be at Oak Creek, Wisconsin, July 6th. Berryville, Virginia, August 4th. Huntington, West Virginia on August 10th. And in Huntsville, August 17th and 18th. But you can visit them anytime at pl-259.com. Well, our guests this evening, we have a trio of Scouts here tonight. And the first one is Bill Stearns. He is a self-proclaimed nerd enough that he made his call sign NE4RD. He was originally licensed in 1994 at the Melbourne Hamfest in Florida as KE4RGH. He was an active member of the Civil Air Patrol and a past president of the Amateur Radio Association of Southwest Florida. While in Florida, he was very active in contesting satellites and VHF. Currently, Bill resides in Billings, Montana with his wife and 3 children. He's a life member of ARRL and the K2 BSA Amateur Radio Association. He's active in statewide contesting with the Big Sky Contesters Club and Skywarn with Yellowstone County Aries. He's a software and systems engineer, podcaster, and a generally nerdy guy. You can find him on the Linux in the Ham Shack podcast, where he's been a co-host since May of 2016, reporting on all kinds of things nerdy, and also on Amateur Radio Newsline, where he reports on radio scouting. Mike Crownover, AD5A, has been a licensed ham since 1989, at the same time as his then 12-year-old son, Michael, KB5ILT. They both have extra class licenses now, and Mike's youngest son, Jake, was also licensed when he was 12, and he's AB5EB. And then he has 2 grandsons, Reed and Boogie, KF5GYE and KF5GYD, who hold their general class tickets. And Mike spends almost all of his time on CW. He has an impressive contest station in Texas and the member of many organizations, including CW Ops, and the founder and president of the Island Radio Expedition Foundation. And finally, no stranger to the show is Jim Wilson, K5ND. He's retired from the Boy Scouts of America headquarters, where he spent 21 years in publishing and communications. He is now a freelance writer and continues to volunteer as the chairman of the National Radio Scouting Committee, National Jamboree on the Air organizer, and a member of the World Jamboree on the Air and Jamboree on the Internet team. He's president of the K2 BSA Amateur Radio Association, which you can check out at k2bsa.net. And over 172,000 scouts have earned the Radio Merit Badge and therefore exposed formally to amateur radio. So we finally got all 3 people together on Skype here tonight. So Bill, Mike, and Jim, welcome to the show.
Well, Neil, thank you very much for inviting us. It's a delight to be here and talk about one of our passions, amateur radio and scouting.
And before we get in too far, if you were following the social media and the QRZ and EHAM posts and everything, we have 2 topics tonight. We have the World Scout Jamboree, and at the end we'll talk about Walmart parking lots on the air. And if you're trying to figure out what the Scouts have to do with Walmart parking lots on the air, not much. We have 2 separate topics tonight that we need to squeeze in. So no, there's not a connection there. So wanted to get that in. But Jim, let's talk about the World Scout Jamboree. This is your next big event coming up, and that was our focus of tonight's conversation. So let's talk about the Jamboree itself being hosted right here in the U.S.
Well, exactly. It's the 24th World Scout Jamboree, and it's an event that's essentially owned by the World Organization of the Scout Movement. And every 4 years, there's a different host country. So that's pretty exciting as it goes around the world. The last one was in Japan. The time before that, I believe it was in Sweden. And I think it was England before that. So it's and now it's being hosted by actually a North American team. This is the first time a team of nations have come together to host it. The Boy Scouts of America, Scouts Canada, and Scouts de Mexico. So it's those three organizations that are hosting it. They're hosting it at the Summit Bechtel Scout Reserve in West Virginia. Now, the good news there is that's the same place we host 50,000 scouts from 160 countries. So it's going to be absolutely extraordinary. And then all kinds of program activities on the site for the Scouts. The dates, July 22nd to August 1st, and we'll be doing setup and testing starting around the 17th of July to get the antennas up and all that sort of stuff. Now, and quickly in the amateur radio operation itself, rather than using for those out there that are pointing out that the Jamboree's been held in North America a few times, this is the first one hosted by a North American team. But our purpose, introducing science, technology, fun, and magic of amateur radio to Scouts, and to serve as the amateur radio voice of the Jamboree. And a big part of that is our demonstration station, and Mike is our technical leader. So I'll let Mike tell us all about our demonstration station.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Well, for those who have never seen or been to a National Scout Jamboree, this demonstration station, the best way I could describe it is a field day on steroids. We're going to have 10 operating positions. We'll operate sideband, CW, FT8. We'll have a satellite station and some really expert guys operating that. So there'll be contacts available for most every mode. Now, our purpose here, our primary purpose, is to expose ham radio to Scouts. And so during the daylight hours, we'll be getting as many Scouts through our tent and in front of the stations as we can to actually make contacts, to understand what ham radio is about, and to be generally exposed to it. The thing you can do to help us here is to listen for us on the air and make yourself available, especially during the day, for sideband contacts to talk with some of these Scouts. As Bill said, 50,000 from 160 different countries is going to be quite an interesting project. Now, we'll have also an international staff. Because it's an international World Jamboree, staffing requirements limit, members from North America, rightly so. And so we will have an international staff, and so you may be able to chat with them on the air as well. Now, the station is 10 operating positions. We will have towers and beams and wires and every type of antenna imaginable. We want to thank ICOM for providing the radios. They'll be giving us some 7300s to use. We'll also have some ICOM 9700s for VHF, UHF use. They've sponsored our repeaters on site. And so a big thank you to ICOM for all they've done for us. Providing a lot of the ancillary equipment, the coax, the connectors, the switching, the headphones, all of that kind of stuff. DX Engineering and MFJ have stepped up not only this year, they've also in the past, the National Jamborees sponsored as well, as has ICOM. This year we have a couple of new sponsors. When I say this year, this is a World Jamboree, but this is kind of an ongoing project for K2 BSA. The JK Antennas has stepped up to donate three nice antennas to us. They gave them to us. An Illuma Tower has loaned us one of their very nice portable towers. We'll be able to mount the antennas on. The setup will, as Jim hinted at, will be around the 16th, 17th, 18th. We will have try to set up all the infrastructure, the antennas, the towers, the cabling, the switching system, the computers. You'll hear from Bill Stearns shortly. He's promised me he will network all these computers and they'll operate flawlessly. So looking forward to how smooth that will be. But we will be very, very busy for those first few days to be ready for the opening of the Jamboree, which is July 22nd. So it is basically a 2-week field day with many modes and many visitors coming through the tent, and we hope to make a major impact on ham radio on these young scouters. So hopefully you can, if any of your scouters that are coming, if you are coming to the Jamboree, please stop by and say hi to us. Do we have any giveaways, Jim?
We do for Scouts. We're
come in and act like a scout, and maybe you'll get a giveaway.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and then just one last word about our schedule. So, I'm not on Eastern time in my mind, so I'm not sure what time this is Zulu, but we will probably be primarily voice modes or digital modes until around 5 p.m. Eastern time. At that time is when the scouters will go to do other things. We'll continue to operate the station, and we may venture into some CW and other modes for people who want to make a contact with the Jamboree. And so that those operations will go well into the night as long as we have people calling us. So probably 18 hours a day or so will be our operating schedule, assuming we can keep it manned the entire time and that people are calling us. And that's where you can help us out. But don't neglect to call during the day when we have these young scouts on the air and give them a great exposure to ham radio.
Yeah, and Jim, that's what we want to talk about next is what can people out here listening in cyberspace tonight, what can they do to help support the event and be there to help you have some people to talk to?
Yeah, that's the sun is not our friend right now, as we've all been discovering over the last couple of years, actually, and in 2017 at our national jamboree it was pretty challenging, but so we need guys on the air from West Virginia, close by, in North America. There's a number of locations that are set up to. I know Gilwell Park, which is the place where scouting was founded in England. They're going to be on the air. I think it's GB 100 something or other. They have a 100th anniversary happening there. They're going to be on the air. We're hoping to work them. A number of others. There's a Jamboree in the Netherlands. But we need guys here in the U.S. Philmont. There's an operation there. K5 PSR or K5K, the Philmont Scout Ranch will be on the air all during the Jamboree trying to work us. But we want people on the air. Now, Bill Stearns is going to tell us a little bit about our social media and website and how we plan to keep people informed about what frequencies we're on and that sort of stuff. So Bill, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be obviously keeping all the pretty static and dynamic information up on our website as current as possible. We'll have, of course, all of our little social media accounts plugged into, mine and Jim's phone, at least, so we can send out pictures and everything else as the event goes on and as we see stuff. We'll also be doing some Facebook Live events for the balloon launches that we'll be doing. We'll be doing, I believe, 3 balloon launches. Is that correct, Jim?
Right, 3 of the Pico balloon launches with APRS tracking.
Yeah, so we'll have that again. We'll do one early, probably during setup, to just try it out and also get one in the air so we can start tracking it and show the scouts tracking it. And that will, of course, you'll be able to track that on any of those APRS tracking sites like APRS-FI or whatever. Are those going to be tagged with the NA1WJ call sign, or are those coming as K2BSA?
They're all NA1WJ call signs.
Awesome. So, yeah, all you have to do is search for those. We'll probably short link everything into the website and social media accounts. So we have, of course, K2BS on Twitter. We have at K2BSA_scouting. And we also have at NA1WJ_scouting in Twitter. We have an Instagram account at NA1WJ. We also have our Facebook page, which is the K2BSA Facebook page. So that's where you'll find all of our live events and anything getting updated. I might work on some more trickery as we get all the station connected and stuff like that to maybe even have live updates of the log posting out. We did run into some issues with that last year, going directly to, I believe, Club Log. We were dropping some contacts, but we fixed all that up afterwards. But we're going to try to have all that information out, what frequencies we're currently operating on, what position we're operating on, which way we're pointing the beam, if we got the beam going a certain direction. So everybody will be aware of what's going on there.
And all those computers are going to be networked flawlessly.
Absolutely.
I'll also mention that on our website, it's what is that? It's k2bsa.net/jamboree-live. It shows our frequencies that we plan to be on, and we'll be updating that. But there's a link there as well to questions that the ham radio operators can ask the Scouts. Sometimes that can be a little bit challenging to get a conversation going, and so we've published a list of questions to try to help with that, to prime the pump, if you will, to get them engaged. And let me also mention a couple of other things here. We have during the Jamboree, one of our programs is amateur radio direction finding, or fox hunting. We'll have both 80 meters and 2 meters. They're going to be part of the geocaching and orienteering program activities, but our ham radio staff is handling that for those guys. We have also, Bill mentioned the Pico balloon launches, and we'll have satellite contacts all through the Jamboree. It's Echo Mike 97 is the grid. And then we have an International Space Station contact planned as well. And we're working on finalizing the date and the time for that. But we're reasonably sure that the astronaut we'll be talking to, Drew Morgan, he is an assistant scoutmaster in the Houston area. So we're very excited about that, and that will be, of course, Facebook Live video and all. And then just to wrap it up, Mike touched on our the staff members that we have there. We have a total of I think it's 33 staff members, and we had a maximum of 12 from the U.S., but the others are from Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Finland, Germany, Japan, Liechtenstein, Malaysia, Nepal, Netherlands, Norway, United Kingdom, Taiwan, and Zimbabwe. So, and they're all fully licensed ham radio operators. Many of them have operated at previous World Jamborees. So it's going to be a blast.
Sounds like a really fun time, and look forward to hearing all you guys on the air. And I think I need Echo Mike 97, so we may have to work on that.
Perfect. And I also mentioned I have a secret activity that we might be able to undertake, depending how our setup goes. But the Jamboree starts on the 22nd. The 20th and the 21st are the CQ Worldwide VHF contest. So we may be able to get on for that. So we'll wait and see how we do.
All right. Well, that should give everybody a fairly good idea. And also I'll put in a shameless plug here for Newsline, because I just finished recording Newsline. That call sign is GB100GP. Because we have a story about that on Newsline this week, about the 100th anniversary of the camp over in England. Where's the name of it? It's right here in front of me. Gilwell.
It's Gilwell Park, yeah. Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you.
So shameless plug there. So, all right, well, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to start answering some of the tweets that have been coming in and take your calls at 812-650-9556. And we'll come back and talk more with Bill, Mike, and Jim after this word from the people who are providing all this equipment for the Scouts for this World Scout Jamboree, ICOM America, right here on Ham Talk Live. Contest from home or remotely. ICOM's IC9700 is now available and shipping. Create your own band opening with ICOM's newest SDR transceiver, the IC9700. This new radio is bringing direct sampling to the UHF and VHF weak signal world. The IC9700 all-mode transceiver is loaded with innovative features like dedicated amateur satellite operation, color touchscreen, D-Star built-in, RF direct sampling on 2 meters and 70 centimeters, dual independent receivers capable of full duplex, as well as dual watch, and 100 watts maximum output powers on 2 meters, 75 watts on 70 centimeters, and 10 watts max on 1.2 gigahertz. For HF, it's the SDR every ham wants. It's the IC7610. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals even in the presence of stronger adjacent ones. The ICOM IC7610 is a direct sampling software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. It has RF direct sampling, 110 dB RMDR, independent dual receiver, and dual digicel. And the IC7300 is changing the way entry-level HF is designed. This high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design will far exceed your expectations with RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, SD, memory card slot, and more. Visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios. And don't forget to be ham active in June. Participate in both the June VHF contest as well as Field Day. Submit your logs and see how you did in the pileup.
The grass may be greener on the other side, but at least we don't have to mow it. You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp.
Thanks to ICOM America for bringing you the show again tonight. And Ham Talk Live is on the air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here at hamtalklive.com. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you have a question for Bill, Mike, and Jim, give us a call. It's 812-650-9556. Or you can tweet us at Ham Talk Live. And if you're listening to us on WTWW or the podcast edition, you won't be able to reach us live since it's Thursday right now. I know we've got a question about D-Star, so we're going to get to that, but we have a couple of calls on the line here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the call here and see what that is, and then we'll get back to that. So, all right. So, good evening. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Hello? Or maybe not. Let's try this one. Hello, welcome to Ham Talk Live. The same number is ringing 3 times. Let's try this one. Hello, welcome to Ham Talk Live. Okay, none of those. So we will try that again here in a minute. Okay, so it's live radio at its best. So, KG5GJT has tweeted in, it's not Skyped in, tweeted in, and wants to know, what about D-Star? You're going to have D-Star. So we were actually talking about that over the break. So fill us in on some of those other digital voice modes that are going to be going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have the D-Star, the WV8 BSA Module B, Reflector 033 Alpha will be basically where we're at. So we'll be active on D-Star. I believe ICOM is sending us a pair of the 5100s for operating D-Star from the location. We'll also be on Echolink, and that conference node we'll be reusing is Star Jambo Star, or node number 832996. Hopefully that should be running quite well. I just upgraded that droplet on DigitalOcean, and it seems to be running pretty stable. And so we'll probably connect that in. And also we'll be running a nightly net from the actual location there, where we'll probably be bridging both the 440 and 2-meter repeaters there. And depending upon the traffic, we might actually bridge in Jambo as well. during that net, so people can contact us on the net and kind of hear what's going on from all the amateurs that will be on the event. We get a lot of check-ins from the other camps and other teams working in the other areas, so it's always a fun net to kind of just say hi, and everybody's like wanting to come over and visit the station when they get a day off, which we don't really get days off.
Yeah, you don't get much downtime, I'm sure. All right, let's try the call again. Maybe it worked here. Let's try it. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Hello? Nothing heard. Okay, well, I will hang this one up if it'll let me. And then we can try it again. I don't know what's going on with this tonight.
Love technology.
Oh, yes. You can come over here and fix all this. Okay, now we've got the calls cleared, so we can try it again. 812-650-9556 is the phone number to call, and so we talked about all the digital voice stuff. Let me go back over here to Twitter, because we did have the D-Star question, and I believe we had one earlier tonight, which, Jim, I think you already addressed on Twitter, but the question was from KC7ZIE rather, in Las Vegas, and wanted to know how he can get involved in his local area. So for those who didn't see your response, fill them in on that.
Yeah, well, I'll provide the response that I gave, and then I want to turn it over to Bill and Mike as well. Really, the best way to get engaged with scouting is to ideally through somebody that you know, that's a scoutmaster, a cub master, something like that. Actually, I have a case in point here that I was setting up my Rover mobile in the street, and one of my neighbors came by and said, "What's that?" We went through the usual explanations, and she said, "My Cub Scout den might be really interested in this." And I go, "You betcha. Let me do a meeting for you." That's really the best way. If you're going to contact a local council, they're at too high a level to take advantage of it. Also, check in with your club or your nearby clubs. They're probably running they may be running a Jamboree on the Air event that you can get engaged with. Those are two ways, but I know Bill and Mike may be a bit closer to it, and you guys have got some other ideas. Please chime in here.
Yeah, let me just come back to the event, the World Scout Jamboree. We have a mailing list that we've set up over on groups.io/G/NA1WJ for people that are interested in finding out how they can get on the air with us, maybe talk with us directly outside of the social media platforms. If you don't do that, the Groups.io is a great location for that. We've been talking to a lot of people that have joined that list. I think we're over 100 members on the list right now that are telling us where they're at, where they're located, what station they have, and when their availability is. So we can get together and get that information out in yet another way of providing communication and feedback on that. How about you, Mike?
Well, yeah, I would just say to get involved in ham radio and scouting. There's, as Bill said, there's any number of ways, or as Jim said. But one thing I would say is if you call, a couple of questions to ask, and it depends on what their interest would be. But who chairs the Jamboree on the Air in the local council? And maybe the council office can refer you to that individual. You can then ask them, they'll be a ham, how you can get involved. To also ask about becoming a radio merit badge counselor. And they would get you in touch with the things you need to do to qualify to get certified as a merit badge counselor, and then kind of get into that loop. And each council is a little different in how they handle this stuff, so it's hard to give you one prescribed method. But just start talking to any scouters that you may know. And there are some advantages. So I was assistant scoutmaster. Both of my boys were licensed when they were 12. when we went on campouts, I gave them 2-meter handhelds. That allowed me to sit around the camp, drink coffee, and get periodic reports. I didn't have to go check on them.
Perfect.
Another one more thing I could think about. Yeah, well, probably a couple things. Obviously, you can come visit us at the k2bsa.net website. We have lifetime memberships available there where we can send you out information. You can get involved. We can talk all about how you want to get involved in radio scouting. We have the USA Radio Scouting Net is every second Thursday of every month at 9 p.m. Central on Echolink, and that's hosted over on a conference node of star JOTA-365 star, or conference node 480809. So you can check that out. Also, you can subscribe to our Jamboree on the Air email newsletter on the K2BSA site as well. And there's tons of information that goes out in that quite often. What do you say, Jim? Like every couple months there's at least some stuff going out?
Yeah, about every 3 months, more as we get closer to the event.
Yeah, so it's not a high volume newsletter, so you don't have to worry about being spammed and stuff like that. But it does give you that constant reminder of what's going on with radio scouting directly from the K2BSA.
And this lifetime membership will set you back an entire $12.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the same person called back again. We're going to try it again. So let's see if it works. I'm starting to think there's something wrong with the phone system, but we'll try it. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. And we
just broken again.
Of course. It worked fine 30 minutes before the show. When I called it, it worked fine, but now, of course not. So, okay, I guess we're giving up on the phone lines tonight. We'll just work on the tweets and the chat here. 812-650-9556 is the number you're supposed to call, but I don't know that that's working tonight. We'll have to see. Oh, it was KG5GJT, so we got his question in. So good. Got a tweet from him. So, okay, so we know who that was. Okay, well, anything else that we need to talk about here with World Scout Jamboree? We might talk about Jamboree on the air a little bit, but anything else we need to make sure we hit with the World Scout Jamboree, guys?
I think we beat it up pretty good. I'm pleased we were able to get all that information out, and delighted that you were hosting us tonight. But yeah, we can talk a little bit about Jamboree on the air as well.
Jim, did you want to mention about the QSL cards and the availability and how that's actually going to work this time?
Yes. Bill kind of touched on it before. We're going to use the full technology sweep on the logs. We're using N1MM, and ideally we'll be synchronizing, uploading the logs, ideally every day, if not in real time, but ideally every day to Club Log, syncing that with Logbook of the World. And via Club Log, that will be posted on our website. So you can do a search on the website for your call sign, see if you've made it into the log, and then of course Logbook of the World will give you a confirmation. But we have a QSL manager, Donald Sonnefeld, KD2FIL, and he will handle direct requests for QSLs, and then Club Log itself, we've activated their online QSL request service. Now that's primarily for people overseas, because I think we're charging $2, and the $2 is for the postage to get it overseas. So it's not the best way to get a QSL card in the U.S., but you can use it. A few people did in 2017. But and QSLs are pretty nifty too. You can see a picture of one on Neil's post and in our Facebook page and the website as well.
Yeah, it's a very well done QSL card, so that'll be a good one. Well, KG5GJT here also asks, will there be a radio merit badge class during the World Scout Jamboree?
No, there won't. This is the World Jamboree. There are 160 different scout organizations there. Not all of them have a radio merit badge. In fact, some of them don't have a merit badge program. So it's not an activity that fits in a World Scout Jamboree, which is unfortunate. We always do it for the National Jamboree, but not for a World Jamboree.
Okay. Now we got a couple other things to talk about, but real quickly, do you have a little bit of a preview on JOTA?
Let's see, Jamboree on the Air, third weekend in October, and I'm not looking at the dates right now.
18th, 19th, and 20th.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and local time. It's not a contest, so it doesn't start at 00 hours UTC or anything like that. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and lots of. It's the largest scouting event in the world. Now, we just mentioned 50,000 scouts at the World Scout Jamboree. That's the next largest scouting event. Jamboree on the Air is typically 1 million. I think last year we got 1.8 million. Our target for 2021 is 3 million. So it's a big event. It's fun to get on the air and connect scouts to one another and introduce the technology. And that's a great way to get engaged with scouting as well. It's typically setting up a station, or it's ideally almost setting up a station at a camporee where the scouts are already there. They've got lots of activities. They'll stop by the station. Some won't let go, and they'll catch on fire about ham radio. Others will go, yeah, okay, whatever. But you planted a seed. So that's Jamboree on the Air, third weekend in October.
Okay,
I would just make.
That's coming up. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I just had a comment about that, and Jim's right. Most of these are at camporees, but it's also not a bad project for a ham club if they can get in contact with the local scouting organization to make a station available. We've done this in the past, and there are some requirements even in Webelos that require participation in an event like JOTA, and make your state. We always talk in ham radio, how do we get youth involved? How do we engage youth in ham radio? This is the perfect project for a club working in conjunction with scouting to make a station available, sponsor the event, have it staffed, partner with your local council or your local troop, or local cub pack, and put something on the air. It doesn't have to be all weekend. You can do it on Saturday. You can do it on Sunday, both or one or part of a day. But it is an excellent way to get involved and to get youth exposed to ham radio. We're always asking about that. This is a ready-made project.
Yeah. And very good point, Mike. You remind me that we have a local church here. A local church. It has a couple of units, a troop and a pack, and there's a ham club that sets up in the parking lot, and they get a lot of scouts in the morning on Saturday. They get a lot of scouts in the afternoon, and it's a good turnout for them. You have to be patient when setting up that, but because so many people are so busy these days. But it's a great way to do it. In fact, in the Longhorn Council, I'm the guy that's trying to organize the station for the council office, and I'm reaching out to local clubs and saying, "Hey, here it is. Got an opportunity to set up a station and get the scouts out." So, yep, good.
And a lot of because we're like in a lot of the districts and councils, that's the last weekend of popcorn sales. At least generally, it's been the last weekend of popcorn sales. A lot of times they have sort of district little meetup stations where they have like a fill up the sheet thing going on, and normally ice cream or something like that for the scouts that fill their sheets up and can come in and take a break selling that last weekend of popcorn. So getting in contact with your districts and stuff like that are having those kind of events, it's a great time to kind of show up at the park, throw up a little portable station, and while people are there having some ice cream, they can take a look at what you're doing in amateur radio.
Sounds like some fun stuff. And Jim, I know that one of the things you do is you like to go out roving and set up portable and do some satellite operation. And that brings us to our other topic tonight, which we don't have a whole lot of time for, but we need to get this in because it's just a lot of fun. It's Walmart parking lots on the air, and it's coming up July 6th and 7th. So give us your thoughts on WMPLOTA, and I understand that you've done Dollar General parking lot on the air.
Well, that's true. And you noted I like to do some rover operations, chiefly around these days in the VHF contests. In fact, for the June contest, I was out in the panhandle of Texas, where the land is flat and there's clear horizons anywhere you look. Perfect location for VHF roving and for satellites. But yes, I've done some satellite roving as well, so a lot of satellite operations. And my little thing was in the town of Lone Oak, Texas. There's a grid line. I think it's Echo Mike 22 and Echo Mike 23. And that line happens to go through a very small parking lot of a Dollar General store. So I found the right parking space, went in and told the proprietor there that I was not completely wacky, but I was going to be operating ham radio. They didn't seem to have too much trouble with it. So I have activated a parking lot, but not a Walmart parking lot yet. So I've got that opportunity to come up. But I want to point out something. First, as those who are active in satellites know, Twitter is a cauldron, if you will, of activity there. That's where you learn what's happening and all the chatter that goes on. And I observed in all those connections this tiny idea of, hey, maybe they even took a photo of somebody activating a parking lot, and they said, why don't we do this? And they picked a date, and they picked the rules, and they developed a wiki, and it grew enormously. It was a crowdsourced kind of a thing that happened, and incredible participation. So it's lots of fun activities, awards, and all of that sort of stuff. So I recommend it. If you enjoy satellite operating, this is the event to connect with.
Yeah, it really did just start from an idea, and people did what you did is, hey, there's a grid line that runs right through this Walmart parking lot. And so, no, we're not out to promote Walmart, but they're big open spaces, which are great for satellite. And a lot of these grid lines are going to run through those parking lots. And so that's kind of where it all got started. And everybody just started making up their own rules, and they stuck. And so some of the rules are kind of unusual. So.
One that comes to mind, I think it's called the MacGyver. Yes, MacGyver Works at Walmart award, where you go into the Walmart and you buy what you need to build your antenna, and you come out in the parking lot and put it together and get on the air with it. Absolutely incredible stuff.
So the second annual weekend of WMPLOTA is coming up soon, July 6th at 0000 Zulu. That's Friday night at 8 Eastern for the non-Zulu time people, and 2359 Zulu on Sunday, July 7th. The exchange is at least your call sign, and hopefully either or maybe both the Walmart store number, which you can look up on the Walmart site or on the app, or the 4-digit grid square. Maybe both, just kind of depends, because on satellite, time is precious. So do what you can there. But if you're operating from more than one store, they really encourage give the store number, so that way people know that you're at a different place, so you can work it again for new credit. And Jim mentioned Twitter. The hashtag is WMPLOTA, WMPLOTA, Walmart parking lots on the air. So make sure to check that out. But you know, you don't have to be at a Walmart parking lot to be an associate. You have to be at a Walmart parking lot. So you can work Walmart parking lots on the air, but if you want to be an associate, you got to go to a Walmart parking lot. Now, Brett, let me get his call sign, WY7BG, yes, says, how about Trader Joe's parking lot on the air? Well, maybe we can come up with that one too. It's got to be a Walmart or a Sam's Club or the neighborhood market or whatever. It's got to be the same group in the U.S. Now, if you're in a location that doesn't have one for DX, in fact, it mentions that anything equivalent would work. You know, any big store with a big parking lot would work. But where there's Walmarts, it's got to stick to Walmart and Sam's and the Sam's Market and that kind of thing. Let's see, what else do we need to talk about? We talked about a lot of that stuff already. But if you want to check out all these bonuses and multipliers and stuff, go over to wmplota.org. That's WMPLOTA. Walmart parking lots on the air.org for the complete list. But this will just give you a little bit of an idea of the fun things that people have created and some of these are created just so they'll get points and nobody else. That was kind of the fun thing of it, that, you know, they made them so specific. There's no way anybody else will get them, but the person who wrote the rule will. So there's a couple of apocalyptic multipliers. The zombie multiplier is if you go through AO7, which is the satellite that came back to life after the battery shorted out. So there's that one. And then if you go through a packet sat, there's the robot overlords multiplier. So, but zombie chasers need to always roll back the power, because if it's AO7, you'll knock it off the air. So if you overload the receiver, so make sure you roll back the power. And if the zombies hear you, they'll eat you and they'll kill you for the fun of everyone. It says that's what it says here in the rules anyway. So there's the early bird, the first contact that's made between two operators in the activation window. Jim talked about the MacGyver Award. If you make your antenna out of stuff that you got, the Sam Walton Award goes to the most stores activated. You get bonuses for being near a grid line, on a grid line, within 3 kilometers of grid line. Back to school is if you have a student, kindergarten through college, that participates. Social media posts is called the Big Talker. There's the spelling bee if you can get call sign suffixes that spell out Walmart. If you get a W, an A, an L, M-A-R-T, then you get 25 bonus points. And this is always around the birthday of Walmart. So if you have a birthday cake or other baked confection in celebration of the birthday of Walmart and post that on social media, you get a bonus. You get a bonus for picking up trash in the parking lot. You get a bonus for replacing a dislocated shopping cart to try to clean up. And then here's the ones that I love, the ones that are kind of made that are really specific, like the people of Walmart. You get a selfie from the parking lot. Old Roy, you have to, it's the activator with the most Twitter posts of their dog from an activated parking lot. And then there's Old Roy with Roy. So you get a picture of your dog at the parking lot, but the operator's name has to be Roy. So it's Old Roy with Roy. Special Kitty is the same as Old Roy, but with your cat. Buy one, get one free Tabor squared. So if you talk to Chris Tabor, K7TAB, and Doug Tabor, N9UA, on the same pass, you get that. And let me end with this one. This is the important one. The great value bonus is a QSO while eating chicken obtained from the deli. because that Saturday is National Fried Chicken Day. It's not a coincidence. It's National Fried Chicken Day. So if you get the chicken bonus, it's even National Fried Chicken Day. So that's even better. So guys, thoughts here on Wimplota before we wrap this up?
I could rip myself out. My first name is Roy. If someone needs points.
Bill?
Sounds good to me.
I was going to say, surely you have a comment.
No, that's great. That's such a great event. I like all these on the air events from the various things we had. The one that appears pretty interesting is the mines on the air one. I always want to try to do that because we have so many old mines. Yeah.
There's mines on the air. There's craters on the air. They were going to start that one up and all kinds of stuff. So this one's coming up July. Where'd it go? July 6th and 7th. And it is on satellite. So that's why it's in the parking lot, is so you get a clear horizon, hopefully. So that's Walmart parking lots on the air, the second annual one. So it's actually the third one, but the second annual, because we did an extra one there last year. So all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show and talking about the World Scout Jamboree and also a little bit about Wimplota tonight. And best of luck to some good weather and good propagation and all of your hardware networking actually working.
That last one, that's going to be tough, but yep. Well, Neil, thank you very much for hosting us, for helping get the word out about it, and we look forward to working you during the Jamboree, giving you Echo Mike 97 on a satellite, and just thanks very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Anything else, guys?
No, I echo my thanks as well. It's appreciated. Let us get the word out.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and make sure you visit us at k2bsa.net for more information.
Yep, that's the place to go, and I do look forward to working you guys while you're out there at the Jamboree. Well, that is a wrap for this week's edition of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to my guests, Bill Stearns, NE4RD, Mike Crownover, AD5A, and Jim Wilson, K5ND, and everybody out there in cyberspace for listening and typing in. And I'll hear you back 2 weeks from tonight. Going to take next week off. It's actually the 4th of July, so there won't be a program next week. But 2 weeks from tonight, I will actually be at the Teachers Institute at ARRL headquarters out in Newington. And so we're going to come live from Newington next time. In 2 weeks, Matt Severin, N8MS, and others will be on the show to talk about the ARRL Teachers Institute. And we'll be out in Connecticut, probably the hotel or something, but we'll be out there. So enjoy the 4th of July. Enjoy your Independence Day safely, and then I'll talk to you from Newington here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully some of you on Walmart parking lots on the air on the drive out there. So for a list of all of our upcoming guests, visit hamtalklive.com, and if you like Ham Talk Live, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen. That helps others find us faster. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.